A very good morning, everybody. Good morning. It's been a rainy Monday here in Lagos. I don't know what it's like where you are. Wherever you are, just stay bright and focused, because when there is life, there is hope. And this is the day the Lord himself has made. Let's rejoice and be glad in it. I don't have a proverb this morning, but I have a very short story that we should start the day with as we move on. It's a story I heard yesterday. I'd heard it before, but yesterday when I heard Adaji say it again, it made even more sense. A father wanted to work, very busy father. The child comes into the study to want to play with him, but daddy didn't want to send the child away because it was essential to also play with the kids no matter how busy you are. So he devised something. He got a puzzle that he had in the study, and that puzzle would take any grown person like 4 hours. He gave it to the little boy, and the boy said, "Don't worry, I'll fix it." While the father was working, less than 30 minutes, the child was back. "I'm done, Dad," he said. How? He said, I've done it." The father didn't believe, and the child said, "No, I've done it, check it." And the father looked at it, and it's a puzzle of the map of the world with all the countries. He knew that the child couldn't achieve it. But yes, the child fixed every single one of them in the right position. And he asked, "How did you do it?" He said, "Well, at the back of the puzzle, there is a picture of a man. And if you fix the man, you fix the world." Big takeout from that small story is the fact that if we're able to fix the man, we'll fix Nigeria. If we're able to fix individuals, we'll fix the world and we'll fix Nigeria. Let's have that in mind this morning as we take a look at the papers, and I'll be joined shortly by Rufai Seni and also Ejiro Mukoro. Will be looking at the papers together. And at 8 o'clock, we have Dominic Ichaba join us. We'll be looking at the role of a father and a mother in giving consent before a child gets married. If you're aware, you know the story of what played out yesterday. Let's see how to tackle all that. And at 10:30, hopefully all things being equal, we'll have Sheikh Gumi join us as we'll be looking at how to check insurgency banditry here in Nigeria. So let's move on straight to The Guardian. And that will be the very first paper I'm looking at this morning. And The Guardian has a major headline just below the mast: "Banks, others shop for over 3 trillion naira from broke investors, lean market." And it has a breakdown of the different banks and how much they're looking for, and the invisible people they're hoping can buy them. The monies they're looking for, how to get them. If you check the front page of The Guardian, you will see everything there. Yes, you can see it on your screen right now. And anxiety as INEX report fails to recognize Ondo APC Guba primary. Northern leaders NNPP warn FG against defense pact with US, France, that if Mali, Niger and Co ask them to leave, why bring them in? And some people say what we have as natural resources is actually the thing attracting these people and not even Nigerians and so on. Well, you can read up on that and see why the northern leaders are saying no to a defense pact with US and France. Outcry over alleged arrest, expulsion of 500 youths in Lagos. Untenable fuel scarcity amid deregulation. From 30,000 naira to 615,000 naira. Feasibility hurdles await minimum wage largesse in state, private sector. Atiku raises alarm over Tinubu's son's membership of Chaguri's board. Remember, they're the owners of High Tech, the construction company for the Lagos Calabar Coastal Road, Eco Atlantic City and all that. I remember all the stories. Okay. Lingering fuel crisis, worsening capacity utilization, productivity, says NECA. You can check all that out. The Guardian has those as front page. Let's move over now to the Vanguard. Above the mast, we have why FDIs continue to elude Nigeria. This is according to Atiku. How Nigerians can identify fake electricity meters by Tahir Aliyu, NEMSA MD. Is an interview they have there. Check out that interview and you get to find out how to identify a fake meter. Edo Guba, Obaseki Des Obi led Legacy Group. Multiple checks, fan NSA move to reduce security agents at airports. They're looking at having like a control room where they have a lot of CCTV, TVs, and people just stay there and monitor what's going on instead of all the various checks you have to go through. And they're working on that. It will be a welcome development, and maybe very soon we'll be talking about that with them. Employers, labor angry over unending fuel scarcity. And the major headline for Vanguard: local firms, IOCs to bid for 12 onshore, 7 deep offshore oil blocks as FG woos investors at OTC 2024. And I've told Abiodun that both of us should bid for one of the blocks. We can do it. Yes, we can, Abiodun. Marketers remain upbeat as petrol scarcity enters third week. Minister wades in as condemnation trails FIJ journalists' arrests. And for sports, we have 2026 World Cup. Super Eagles will beat South Africa Finidi. That's according to Finidi. And we'll also have this one from the Vanguard. This should interest you. Kidnappers slip off after abducting pastor's wife, others in Ondo State. And the detectives have arrested 5 of them. They slept off. And why did they sleep off? That they had taken some hard drugs. And it's gathered that the 3 victims, what would they do? What is Shakwati law? That they ran away. They escaped after they slept off, and the suspects are between 27 and 22 years old, and they were arrested by men of the Ofosu division after the victims identified one of them. That's funny. Also from Vanguard, 2023, why INEC servers failed to work. This is according to Peter Obi, and quoting him, he said, the establishment of criminality made the INEC servers not work during the last general elections. And he also stated this while addressing the issues of the 2023 elections, including the IRF servers in Canada the weekend, and is urging people to intensify engagement with all stakeholders to make the system work. Now let's move on to the Daily Times. NAF kills several terrorists in Borno. Niger airstrikes. You can check that out. That is above the mast. And the major headline here: Tinubu's son on Chaguri's board, a conflict of interest. This is according to Atiku. And the writer says investors can't come to Nigeria through propaganda. That is also according to Atiku. High cost of medicines. FG promises to make drugs available. And also traditional rulers council task Nigerians on unity, prayers for leaders. Nigeria-UK trade relations currently worth £7 billion. NDLEA cracks down on drug syndicate, arrests 5 in international operation, and Benue government orders warring communities to keep off disputed river. Let's move over to the Punch, where we have above the mast, Tinubu to get Minister's Quarter 1 assessment report. I'm looking forward to having a full, report on this one. Let's see which minister didn't perform well this first quarter. 9 banks earmarked 383 billion naira for legal dispute claims. Dangote, Unilever, 5 others cut 1,281 jobs in 1 year. This is according to reports. Then the major headline for the Punch front page: telcos fear shutdown as construction threatens cables. The writer has it that undersea fiber cables linking Europe to Nigeria pass through construction corridor. Outcon. This is Lagos Calabar Highway. I'll give you a little breakdown of that shortly. NDLEA seizes 4,752 kg cannabis concealed in Abuja gas tanker. 80% of Lekki buildings have no approval. This is according to Lagos State government. Read that out and find out how. And all the points they passed through via which they could have gotten approval, all known the kind of land they were building on. If these people didn't go to the government's office directly, they wouldn't know. At the point they were fencing, at the different points, it's all listed out here in this particular report, and I think you should check it out. Foreign scholars lament 11-month unpaid allowances phase ejection. Major marketers demand more fuel as depots stock depletes or drops. Now, for the Lagos Calabar Highway, telcos fearing shutdown as construction threatens cables. It said here that they passed through that construction corridor. I'm talking about undersea fiber cables linking Europe to Nigeria. Remember what happened the other time in March? Well, they're saying that 48 hours after MultiChoice alerted subscribers to a 3-day technical downtime, these ones are also talking about connectivity disruption as construction advances on the 700 kilometers Lagos-Calabar Coastal Highway. And they gave us a breakdown of some of the cables that pass through there, including the West Africa Cable System, Main 1, Glow 1, ACE, and NCSCS. They are all vital for international communications and data transmission in the corridor in the country. And they said during the assessment process, they weren't spoken to, and so nobody really knows what's going on there. All right, let's move on now to the Daily Trust. Daily Trust has this one. FG to reconnect 8 Sokoto LGAs to national grid after 10 years blackout. Whew, that's a lot. FAN, NSA move to stop multiple checks at airports. Lagos market clash, unions threaten to cut tomato supply to Lagos. NAF strikes kill many terrorists in Borno, Niger. And this is the Daily Trust. And war on Gaza, Israel shuts Al Jazeera's office. Rider, U.S. police arrests more pro-Palestinian protesters. Well, we'll be joining my guys shortly, but let's quickly, the Nation has its own major headline. Government begins disbursement of 50 billion naira grants to small firms. With the rider, 1 million businesses in 774 local councils to benefit from free cash. We'll also have why UK stopped students from bringing families by envoy. And the thing now is that only those who are doing doctorate or other deep researches will be allowed to come with families. Then the Tribune has it that FG states to review sentencing for suicide attempt. This is according to the Attorney General of the Federation, because they've seen that a lot of the suicide attempts revolve around mental health issues and say, nope, that shouldn't be the case. We also have stories from this day. And to boost power availability in Nigeria, NERC directs system operators to limit supply to Benin, Niger, and Togo, that no matter what, it must be just about 6 or so %. And the first round of trial is for 6 months. That's the first instance before review. Okay, we have more stories, but you know what? Right now, let's join Rufai and Ejiro. Good morning, Rufai. How are you today? Can we have him up? Okay. All right, Rufai will be joining us shortly, and once he's on, we'll also have Ejiro Mukoro join us too. And while we're waiting for that connection, we'll have this one that the Northern leaders are worried that Nigeria might agree to the defense pact that's between Nigeria, US, and France, and they don't think that is a good thing. They noted that the removal of French and American forces from Niger questions the benefits of foreign military bases. Now, they also highlighted the U.S. operations in Sahel have not curbed terrorism, which has grown since the military base was established. All right, maybe while we're waiting for him, we could also join Ejiro. Let's see if Ejiro is available right now, and we'll move on to have her. And you're still listening to us on VOP 90.3 FM. You could join us. We're streaming on YouTube, VOP 903 FM. That is where you can get to listen to us on YouTube. Ejiro is with us here right now. Good morning, Ejiro. Hoping that Rufai will be joining shortly. How are you, Ejiro?
Morning to you, Cordelia. Good morning, everyone in the studio, and to Nigerians, good morning.
Good morning. All right, let's move on. Okay, cool. The very first story, while we get Rufai to join us, and he will take his bits. Go ahead.
Okay, so I did one from the Nation. Government begins disbursement of the 50 billion naira grants to small firms. So, yeah, it looks like a big money. It feels like, hey, free money. But the reality on ground is that, one, you don't have electricity to run your businesses. Two, the roads are not fantastic to be able to enable you to transfer your small goods and services. Like if you're a farmer and you stay within the very bad environment where the roads are not motorable, right? And then the ease of just transferring your produce is so difficult because you have to use jalopy vehicles, and then this one's break down, and then you can't even get to the market, and before you know it, all your produce that you have, for example, you can't even preserve them because the cold rooms will not work. There is no electricity to power it up. And even where there is a bit of electricity, you can't even buy fuel to sustain it in the process because it's so expensive to buy fuel or diesel.
Sorry, Ejiro, you see the beneficiaries of this federal government largesse is going to be like 50,000 naira grant for nano business owners. 50,000 naira grant for very small business owners.
It's too small.
But it could go some way.
Minimum wage is not enough to care for a bag of rice. Bag of rice, it is something thousand naira. So what is 50,000 naira grant? Let's be realistic, to be honest, because this idea of AIDS, the tendency that Africa likes to see itself as a beggar, right? And you are desiring and happy for arm collection because this 50,000 is like collecting arms. Do you get me? That's why I had to start with all of this conversation of why infrastructure that are not available to even sustain you defeats the purpose of giving you any amount of grant. Even if it's a loan, it's even more hideous because you know that you can't even sustain your payment plan back as it is. So let's be realistic. Giving us grants is not the problem. Make the refineries work.
All right, let's pause a while there. Sorry, darling. Let's pause a while now. Let's have Rufai join us so he'll do his bit and I'll come back to you. Hello, Rufai. Good morning.
Morning. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. It was a little techie difficulty just not getting through to you, but here we are. All right, go ahead.
I've been calling you guys back for a while.
Okay. Is a techie thing? He didn't get here. All right, let's move on. How are you?
Yeah. Very well. Morning. It's a new week. There are many stories making the headlines. I think the most important story in the land this morning, apart from other stories, is the case of the conflict of interest now that is happening. And the Article team has come out to say that Tinubu is on the board of one of the subsidiaries of the group of companies owned by Shaguri. And it speaks volumes about this Coastal Road project. So Nigerians keep asking, what was the haste? What was the rush? Was the relationship with Shaguri a reason why we didn't even do a proper tender process to be able to get other companies too interested to be able to come in? Did that affect in any way? Why was the realignment done and everything? So if Tinubu is on the board, and it speaks volumes about the project in the end. So which kind of country are we living in? Where the son of the president was on the board of a company that was given exclusivity for a contract that could have been openly thrown to bid, and the Minister of Works was saying the other day that it was only iTech that was seen as competent. No, so are you telling me that Julius Berger cannot do projects like that? Are you telling me that other companies don't have that capacity? Traco and tons of other, construction companies in this country. So where is even the local content component in all of this? And where is even the environmental EIA? Because we keep asking them the question of environmental EIA, environmental impact assessment. Only to think that they just did the scoping on the 20th of April, but the minister came out and said they're giving preliminary approval. Where's the preliminary approval? The Minister of State for Environment.
I thought the ministry said that they had the ministry said they had an environmental impact assessment. They said that was over the weekend.
No, the ministry said they gave preliminary approval. The EIA has not been completed for that project. They said in some cases like that they give exemption to preliminary approval. So, but what are the circumstances at which you give exemption to preliminary approval? And why was the EIA not even completed for a period that has been in the work for over 10 years? Not today we'll be talking about Coastal Road. This same APC, they were the ones hounding government of Jonathan then for the EIA for second Niger Bridge then in 2014. So why did we just give preliminary approval all of a sudden for a project that had been on for a while? And why was the realignment changed? And the realignment was so much changed that some people that were not ought to be affected have been affected. I took an impact assessment tour of the Good Beach on Friday. All right?
I saw that very pretty
Initially,
place.
It was the car park.
Very pretty
Can
place.
you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear that.
Yeah, initially it was the car park of the Good Beach that was supposed to be affected. But now, the entire beach and the infrastructure and the ecosystem too is going because they're saying two roads are going to collide. And you're wondering, all of this is already done without EIA. In fact, they just reviewed that one recently. So in the space of how many weeks, you are changing the alignment of the contract a couple of times as against, the original alignment. Where is the EIA for this new structured adjustment for that affect places like the Good Beach? So there are many questions. And you see, we in the media, for the sanctity of the country, media is the soul of a country. In a country that doesn't have good media, there's no soul in that country. Why was the alignment moved from the original part to the beachfront where over 57 businesses will be damaged? There are thousands of millions of dollars worth of infrastructure. Why are the properties not previously marked for demolition outside the right of way demolished? Because there are some properties too. So take, for instance, initially properties on the beach, in the Good Beach, were not provided. It was only the gate, it was only their car park that was going to be taken by right of way. Because I saw it on the impact assessment show. After the FD refusal to realign, despite pleas of some other companies, demolition went ahead. What was the due process, competitive process for such a contract like that? Why was no significant EIA for such a project like that? I mean, these are questions we should ask. Because
Rufai, can you hear me?
If we don't ask the real question, the country cannot.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
There was this video clip.
Yes, I can hear you.
I saw a community, a town hall meeting, I think, with communities in that region. And I saw the video of one of their representative of one community adjust something like that. And they were telling the minister or those present that what you have on your plan for the road in our region doesn't affect our community. The original place that it was supposed to pass has gone with coastal degradation because the water has washed away the part you were supposed to use. And we're calling for help that this beach is being taken away by the sea. Nothing was done. And so your road doesn't pass through our community. The place the road is supposed to pass by is in the ocean. That was what the man said.
That's the same question we're all asking. I mean, I saw that too. That's the same question we're all asking. Why do you just realign a project like that with recourse to no parameters on ground? You reroute a project with recourse to parameters. A lot of these places have been overtaken by development. You just reroute and recourse a project with no recourse to anything. So those are the empirical questions we're asking. See, the Minister of State for Environment, when he came on arrested, when they brought the document circulating of the fact that they said they were just calling for scoping. Scoping is, EIA takes like 8 or 9 processes, and it takes nothing. If you are lucky, you can get EIA in 3 years. Sometimes it takes more. Scoping is just the third process. It's just even the beginning of the work. We have not even drafted the reports. And they're just calling for scoping. So when they gave the Minister of State for the something that are you aware that they're just calling for scoping for this project that you say you gave preliminary approval? He couldn't talk. He said he cannot confirm nor deny. So we should also question the environmental minister that how can you say you gave preliminary approval for EIA for a project that had not even been scoped? The scoping was just done on the 20th. So if you say you gave approval prior to the scoping, and on the day that they came to announce, they now routed most of the project. So who now did a follow-up EIA? So in terms of environmental approval, number one, this project failed. We are just saying for due process to be done. And you see, most of these questions I ask, and I'm sure it's going to go to a point where a lot of them will go to litigation in this country if care is not taken. Where government will be dragged to court to now answer most of these questions I'm asking. Because they're pertinent questions. See, I am saying all of this for the interest of our country. Let's do things rightly. Due diligence.
Did you see the one by Alton and Atcon? That they said that the undersea fiber cables linking Europe to Nigeria, they pass through that construction corridor. So some of the cables there are the West Africa Cable System, Main One, Glow One, ACE, and NCSCS. That if care is not taken, if they don't do it properly, this will cause a lot of problem, even bigger than what we saw in March.
That is also to show you that they didn't do the EIA. If you did EIA, all of that will be covered in EIA. It's because they didn't do EIA. Even when they went to damage landmark, do you know that most of the connection cables goes underneath through that beach and landmark? Most of them were damaged. Because you see, when you see a beach, you are wondering, how is water running? How is this running and all of that? Most of the cables were passed underground within that beach. Most of them were damaged. It's called the subterranean structure. So we are just calling on all these things because we want things to be done properly. So there are a lot of cases for them to answer. A lot of cases for them to answer. Another story that I would like to talk about this morning, and it's very pertinent and it's very important, is the problem of this economy. The problem of this economy has gone to a point where, you see, they have a saying that it has passed, be careful. Now, the CBN is saying banks should go and look for 3 trillion to be able to shore up their asset base because we want to, increase capitalization of banks. I don't have problems with that too. But where are the investors? Is it the investors that their wealth has already been eroded?
The Guardian called them.
I posted something yesterday that when Emefiele left, official rate of dollar was 500. Unofficial rate, parallel market was 750. Inflation is 21%. Today, dollar is over 1,400 or 1,300. And inflation is over 32%. So is it people that their earnings and their livelihood has been eroded? You see, the thing is so bad now that our biggest industrialist in this country, Aliko Dangote, had to complain that, you see, this dollar thing that they went to do in the name of floating in has destroyed the economy. Because there are not too many sectors Dangote doesn't play in this economy. He plays in agric, he plays in rice, he plays in sugar, he plays in this. So commodities, he plays there heavily. So if one of your biggest commodity sellers and traders, and also your biggest refinery owner, arguably your biggest industrialist in the country, can say such a thing, and no government official is, looking at anything there. So we should be careful. So our CBN is awaiting a decision on submitted recapitalization plans. They know that it's going to be very difficult for the banks. It's going to be very difficult for the banks. Vis-a-vis all of this, I would like to ask, where is President Tinubu? He said he went to Saudi Arabia the other day. And then since then, he's not come back. He couldn't even attend his first May Day. Where is President Tinubu? Where is President Tinubu? Is he back? When will he be back? What are we saying about it?
Well, because I hear he branched to the UK for something like that.
He branched the UK for private visits. In all of this, we have not seen anything. 6 days after the Saudi Forum has ended, we are not seeing anything. Private visit here and there. Where is our president? We have a right to ask. Is our president? Where is our president? Some are saying, sources are saying it's in London and everything. Is this how we want to run this government again? Everybody abused Buhari. Hey, any smart he has gone again. Is this how President Tinubu want to run? At this time where things are very dire in this country. I know some of you supporters, Rufai, what is your own? Get out. Shebi government is moving, nothing is see. Let's tell ourselves the truth. Do not let the truth blind you because of partisanship. Let's say it the way it is. The Yorubas have a saying,
that's true.
Let's do it the way it is so that it will be the way it is. A president needs to sit in his country, assess situations, and let's make this country work. Right. Again, I ask, where is President Bola Ahmed Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu? Where is he?
He'll be back soon. Very soon.
Good morning.
Good morning. Have a beautiful day, Rufai. And tomorrow when you come, I'm going to say my own proverb, but it will be in Isoko. Ejiro is on the line. I wonder if she has an Isoko proverb for us this morning. He's asking, where is our daddy? Daddy will be back soon. All right, Ejiro, go ahead.
When Rufai kept asking that question over again, and I think all Nigerians are also joining in the conversation and asking the question, where is that president? And it's interesting because this is a country where every president we've ever known in this country has a desire to always visit the entire world. But most important, not just visit, we're seeing a tendency towards more private visits, private visits, private visits, private visits. Unlike where we began in the 1999, you could see that the traveling was influenced by economic relationships and development, policy development, the releasing of our debts from us as it is, right? Those were the kinds of movement out of the country, if it warranted, that we saw OBJ did, even though Nigerians now, in hindsight, are beginning to be grateful for what he did with the economic minister and the team at the time. We're not seeing that manifesting here. And as much as we see all of that, it goes back to one of the stories that we have on the newspaper headlines, where on the Business Day, for example, where it is saying that 80% of buildings in Lagos have no legal title. That's coming from the official. And I think Nigerians, especially Lagosians, should take this very seriously, because when they begin to come like this, know that you are being targeted. And here's another thing too. You now have a civil service
break that down. I didn't get that. What do you mean? Know that you're being targeted? If they say you do not have the legal approval, and maybe truly you do not have it. Go ahead.
So here's what I'm going to. You have civil service, right, that are in charge of land, planning, development, and all of that. Now, their job usually is that they are supposed to go to places and do inspections and monitoring and oversight, right? Where they're supposed to be going up and down. I grew up knowing that when you're in the Ministry of Land and Planning and Survey, you're always on the move. You're always checking around. You are going to see how is the drainage, is it working? The gutters, are they working? Where is blocked? We used to see them, the inspectors, they used to call them. And even where environmental inspectors too, they also used to come to do their own as well. So they used to do all of that so that people who are about to build illegal buildings are from the get-go asked, do you have this, do you have that? That's one different conversation. The other conversation I'm going to be talking about is the process of even getting the legal documents, sometimes that can be too Herculean for people, right? Such that has to be with man, no man, who know who, rather than due process where you will go, take your paper, buy your pay for the bill as required, through the proper channel, not through somebody's pocket, collect your receipt, go to the next office, and somebody will look at it, check through their documentation, and say, oh yes, you are here, go to this office. Instead, what happens is you make Nigerians suffer, and this is civil servants doing this onto Nigerians. You make Nigerians suffer through the process. If you don't drop 10,000 here, 15,000 here, 50,000 here, 100,000 here, 1 million here, you will not get the file moving. That's where I'm going to. So how do we make a bastard of situations, right? And then we now have the audacity to come and tell people that, hey, now that you have finally built and you've been staying there for 5-10 years, sometimes some people have been staying there for like 30 years, you just come and wake up overnight and now tell us that we have illegal buildings, right? When you don't enable the ease of processes to be done properly. So before you come out to shout that they are illegal buildings, please, have you even done your job in the first instance? And then to our people too, let's try not to be very illegal, even though we know we live in an environment where the system of doing things is quite odious, it's difficult. May we not allow the system to also make us be worse than we are supposed to? So if you know you have property there, it's good to watch it.
I saw somebody yesterday during one of the interviews, I watched it yesterday, they did the one at Mende Villa here in Lagos, and the person said this week the house was just completed in December. And some part of it, in fact, it had to go, and that they were saying that we were giving 2 hours notice. The government saying we've been giving you notices since 2021 and so on and so forth. The long and short of it is that it now rained heavily. People, their things are out, and it's just, but this thing that you've said, do things legally, and those in charge of doing things legally, especially civil servants.
Evil servants, according to Obasanjo.
I was one, oh my God. Anyway, carry on to your next story. Let's not talk about civil servants today.
It will not end. But I think that is where Nigeria's growth will actually begin, when the civil service have conscience. They don't have conscience, currently speaking.
Hey.
And then, yes, then let's go to the Punch, where he was talking about the fact that their own annual reports is beginning to reveal that thousands of persons have already lost their jobs. And then the reality on ground is that we're beginning to have companies. So the likes of even Dangote, right, Unilever, Nigerian Brewery, right, they are already sending people away from the workforce and say, look, we're going to begin come. We're going to be seeing more of layoffs even this year. That's going to happen. We're also going to be seeing lots of companies closing down. Already, we have seen the series of companies that have been closing down, like the P&Gs and the likes, that are going away because the ease of doing business in Nigeria is the most difficult you can ever experience as an investor. And somebody who wants to attract direct foreign investment, this is not the place you want to put in your money, because there is no assurance of recouping the money. The value chain system in Nigeria, the entire ecosystem that we have, that we run, the way it is being run in terms of the infrastructure that enables, one, the ease of doing business, for example, light, good roads, right? A different transportation and distribution pathways. How can we be in a country of over 250 million, yet our waterways are nothing to write home about? Lagos is an island. Ordinarily, if you go to any country where a place is an island, what you see is the use of transportation that is by sea. You will see it so highly developed that it is a given that people go through these very networks by sea. There's no contest. Yet you do not have fantastic railway line and railway system that are operational, that are reliable, that are dependable, that run on a regular, consistent basis. You don't have airlines. Imagine airline flying by air nowadays. I fear they catch me, because most of the time I fly by air all the time because of the nature of my work.
Now you go fly now broom you be one use. We know they use broom where we come from.
No, we don't use broom. It's okay, they allow that kind of thing. All right. So you look at that situation. The rate of internal airline flights is so expensive. It is ridiculous.
So expensive.
It is not justifiable. No, it's not justifiable. So we need to get to a point where we also need to see that the system of operational is a problem. And then when you now have more people leaving the workforce with Lagos State say, okay, we're going to give you 70,000 naira minimum wage. Okay, fine. You won't give 70,000 naira. It does not still bought a bag of rice. That is 80,000 naira plus. So what are we saying? Let us stop kidding ourselves. And Nigerians should please, our tolerance for what is bad and evil and punishment and oppression upon us, I think we just say it's enough now. What is wrong with us?
Okay.
Why do we tolerate people?
We done the show. Rest.
No, because we get to talk to ourselves. We not have to talk to ourselves. Maybe we face the reality, because our tolerance for waiting bad is not good. Maybe we learn to sit up and get up and say, no, it's enough. Look at that guy who died for USA. The guy, they put a knee for the guy neck. The guy said, I cannot breathe, I cannot breathe. That's where we are. So we cannot breathe. Now they shout. We cannot breathe. Then somebody can reverse the thing, come and say, let the poor breathe. They have always indirectly told you that you cannot breathe. Somebody come and say, let the poor breathe. You're already dead. You are gone. The moment somebody is saying, let you breathe, you are gone. So
we have just 1 more minute to go. And I think this 1 minute, let's look at this Mount story from Vanguard. It made me smile, where kidnappers slip off after abducting pastor's wife, others in Ondo. And these guys are between 27 and 22 years old, or 21 years old. Mumuni is 27, Yusuf 21, Kabiru 16. Actually, there's a 16-year-old. Shaibu Umar and the other one, Adamu 22. Maybe they took, I don't know, they kidnapped somebody, they slip off, and the people escaped. They identified them, arrested them. What do you say to that? I'm
very happy about that. I'm very happy that these people were able to escape, because we had a similar incident of somebody very close to us who was kidnapped too in Port Harcourt. As soon as they landed Port Harcourt, they actually sent me the information, and we actually got into action and all of that. But here is the thing. A situation where we have gotten to the point where you mentioned the 16-year-old. I was privileged to be among the people who went to do investigation into young children as little as 10, 11, 16, thereabout. They are already incarcerated because they committed the crime of rape. Now we're seeing a situation where children now of 16-year-old are thinking of quick money. A society that enables instant gratification and reward evil. That's why I'm keeping saying we have to talk to ourselves. This is where we're going to get to. where young children see this manifesting on radio, on TV, on television, on social media, right? People are even turning it into skits, where we turn nasty things into skits and we laugh about it. Somebody else is using that skit and saying, I'm going to practice what I have seen done here and I'm going to use it on people. So it is high time we begin to sanitize our systems. Parents have work to do, individual one of us have work to do, but most importantly, the federal government, the state governors, right? Okay. And the local government chairman, they have an important work to do to take us away from this situation where you make people become animals. And when you turn people to animals, we are going to live in an animal kingdom. And right now, that is the kind of kingdom we're living, and we need to change that. But parents, please hold your children. You got to help them, because there's many children in jails as we speak. Too many young children under the age of 18 that are in the jail.
Jerome Mukuru, thank you very much for your time this morning. Wishing you the best of the day and catch you tomorrow. Take care.
All right. Bye-bye, everyone. Cheers.
Cheers. You're listening to 90.3 FM in Lagos, the voice of the people, and it's your turn now to add your voice to everything we've been talking about. And the number you'll be calling is 0700 903 903 903. And that will be not just now. We're going to put some things together, and then you join us in less than a minute. And let's quickly let you know that we'll be having Sheikh Ahmed Gumi at 10:30 here. Let's look at some of the things, his own perspective. How can we get rid of insurgency? What truly is going on in the northern part of the country? We'll talk about that. And at 8 a.m., Dominic Ichaba, I called him the other name. He's a barrister and he is also a marriage counselor, will be joining us. Let's look at the issue of parental consent for marriage. For those of you who follow things that happen around, you would have heard the story yesterday of how a family came out to disown the marriage of their child. They weren't carried along per se. Let's talk about it. What's the role of the parent in a marriage? We'll find out. Stay with us. This is VOP 90.3 FM.
The award-winning pizza in the US is now here in Nigeria. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Romeo, the pizza champions, and cold berry ice cream, delights in every scoop. Visit any of our outlets and feel the rich taste from the pizza champions and cold berry ice cream at 11 Road by First Avenue, First Town, 28 at Denira Ogunsanya Street, Surulere, 13 Admiralty Way, Lekki Phase 1. Romeo's Pizza and cold berry ice cream. Romeo, the pizza champions.
Time for us to move on now to join you, but the big question we've been asking, that is a big question. The president has not been around for a while. The vice president is going for a summit in the US, and then we're wondering who is in charge. Who is in charge? No announcement as per who is in charge. Will it be leadership, virtual leadership, or leadership from diaspora? Is a big question, and I'm wondering. But meanwhile, 0700 903 903 903 or 0817-175-6338 WhatsApp. You can also send your messages there too. Good morning. Remember, oh God, you just made me speak very bad English. Each of us, we have 90 seconds to speak, and you turn down the volume on your radio set first, please. Yes. Good morning.
Good morning to you.
Morning.
Ikan, calling you from Isolo Kingdom.
You're welcome, Ikan. Go ahead.
You were asking where is the president. It's not the new thing now. You remember what he said, that wherever Buhari stopped, that is where he will continue. And when Buhari was even in hospital, they said there is nothing wrong, that the president can govern the country anywhere. So even if it is inside hole that the president is, he can stay there and still govern Nigeria, because this is what APC planned for Nigeria. So sad. Anyway, let's go to the story. Today is Monday morning, and I wish all Nigerians good. As they are going out, they are going to make good money on Monday morning.
Amen.
That's my take this morning. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And I have your message here. From Adeyemi Kamaru from Satellite Town. You said Peter Obi, I didn't take that story. Okay, I did. You said Peter Obi lied in Canada when he said Amazon came and said there was no glitch in the Annex 7, and Peter Obi know that is a lie. Peter Obi brought to court one Mr. M. Pen Clenota Oga, who admitted in court and on video that I'm here as an expert. I'm not here on the mandate of Amazon. And they're on the mandate of Amazon. Do you remember what he said? Okay, you share with us later. I have yours, Martin Zduru, aka Mayor from Ikotun. Good morning, good people of the press. Many of us did not understand when President Tinubu promised Nigerians renewed hope before the elections. You said Tinubu will continue where Buhari stopped. If I may ask, where did Buhari stop? Is it a positive way or negative way? You and I should know better. So Mr. Tinubu came to add more pain. Anyway, you're not telling us the paper you're talking about here. I mean the story. Franco Nero from USA, the Coastal Road project appears to me as a very big elephant project and an avenue to siphon public fund via private companies. The destruction of investment of over $200 million, damage to any benefits the road will bring. Okay? Damage to cable lines and loss of thousands of jobs cannot be compared to any benefits the road will bring. A project that won't be completed in the next 10 years. May God help out our leaders. Franco Nero, USA. Good morning.
Hello, Cordelia. Good morning.
Morning. How are you?
I'm fine. I guess the weekend was fine. My name is Peter Monse from Shomolu.
Welcome. Go ahead.
Cordelia, I use this opportunity to ask all the journalists in Nigeria, where is Tinubu? Because for me...
Okay. Go ahead.
I don't think a country should be governed this way, honestly speaking. Buhari did this same thing at the point he was in the hospital in London for more than 3 months at a stretch. And every time gallivanting all over. And Tinubu now also has started. They are looking for investors. They are attending business meetings. And no business is moving in Nigeria. How can they understand what is happening in Nigeria? How can they understand, the position, the predicament small-scale entrepreneurs are facing in Nigeria? That's why you will hear them talking about 50,000 naira to boost the entrepreneurship of the small-scale people. And at the end of the day, I ask a question. 50,000 naira to small-scale entrepreneur, is it to pay NEPA bill? Because the NEPA that will not give them light will bring a bill of 50,000, 57,000. So that money is gone. Or what do? They buy fuel in jerry cans from hawkers. And then at the end of the day, the fuel they buy in 1 month has taken that 50,000 naira. These people can never understand what Nigerians are going through because they are not here in Nigeria.
All right, time's up. Thank you very much for your contribution. We have a lot of messages here on YouTube. This is what we'll do. After the session at 8 a.m., we're going to take more of these messages where possible. Austin Page Ubaja, good morning, VOP families. Greetings from London. Greetings, Alex. So, good morning to the VOP family. You said have a beautiful stress-free day. Thank you so much. Oladewale from ATL, good morning. You say if the government is indeed seeking for development, then why are they putting the cart before the horse? Are there solutions when leaderships are gallivanting across the globe, spending the borrowed money again on the leadership? Okay. Advanced Adam, I have yours. Ola, you have more there. We can read them up. Okay, you say imagine 50 billion naira grant, free money. Who will be accountable for this money? Well, each person will be getting 50,000 naira. Emmanuel OC, RCC answers Julio Berger Company are 100% better than Shaguri High Tech Company, but because of fraudulent contract, they never make it open for bidding. Good morning.
Hello?
Yeah, morning. Your name, where are you calling from? Go ahead.
My name is Iken Obanagu.
All right, where are you calling from? Go ahead.
I am coming from Oshodi Road behind Expressway.
Okay, go ahead.
We go to Ikeja.
Okay.
Nigeria have already turned upside down.
Which topic are you looking at this morning? Which of the headlines?
I am hearing I put my FM.
Hmm?
I put my FM, so I am hearing about Nigerian economies, right?
And different newspaper headlines. Go ahead, pick one of them and talk about them.
Mm-hmm.
Hello?
Okay. I can hear you.
All right, go ahead.
Okay. Only what I want to talk is only God will save us inside this country.
Amen. He will save us indeed. Thank you for your prayer this morning. We'll take more messages soon. Let's take your call. Hello, good morning. Hello. Okay. Good morning.
Good morning, man.
Good morning, Remy, with all the Martins. How are you doing?
That's your boy. Happy bank holiday. Oh, sorry. I know you guys are not having
Happy bank holiday to you. Happy bank holiday.
Well,
I'll go
you.
to the bank and sit in front and buy cake. That's my bank holiday. All right,
fantastic. Now, we are now getting, I want the government to come out and talk about the allegation published in the paper today that Atiku made on Tinubu's involvement in the associated company to high-tech. We need explanation because that will...
Oh, okay. Let's take your call. You call back if you can, please. Hello, good morning. Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, have you on. Good morning. Your name, where are you calling from?
Oh, sorry. Let me lower
the volume
of my radio set.
All right, go ahead.
Okay. I didn't quite get the headline earlier because I just tuned it. Please, if you can remind me of the headline, please.
Ooh, that is a lot. You know what? You can go back, catch up. Online is online. Catch up quickly. If you can call me back before 7, that would be fine. But catch up, then call back. Just go scroll back on YouTube. You'll see some of the headlines. We'll have too many to. Ooh, turn down the volume on the radio set. Hello, good morning.
Hello.
Hello, good morning. Your name?
My name is Wanje. I'm calling from Chasha.
All right, Wanje from Chasha. Go ahead.
Thank God, for a very long time we've been trying, and it's impossible to get you, Padilla.
Oh, here you are. Well, sorry about that. Go ahead.
I want to speak about our president's whereabouts.
Okay.
They should realize that it's important to treat us with dignity. You cannot be moving us, and when you want to go out, I am, as a private citizen, I can go anywhere I like without informing anybody. But as a public servant, number one at that, you leave this country, you leave us to ourselves, you don't care what happens to us. We ought to know, we are asking questions because we ought to know where our president is. That's why you were voted in. And this thing is becoming a norm, it's becoming the practice with APC presidents. Buhari did it and nobody said anything about it, and he's doing it. We must demand to know where our president is. And we Nigerians must probe into that high-tech revelation of the directors. We must probe into it. You can't carry our commonwealth and give to your family, to your friends and cronies, and expect us to be quiet. This must be proved. We are going to resist it.
Okay, thank you very much for your call. Good morning, Sister Cordelia. It's a beautiful Monday morning. Let's go make money. Amen to that. INEC intentionally made the servers not to work in order to rig the election. Now they have, that is an allegation that hasn't been proven, right? Even if you say Ankoroko, as long as it's not proven, there's nothing we can do about that. So I'm going to move on to your next comment here. Concerning the Coastal Road, which Tinubu is among the board, that's the board of Shagori. This is family affair government. President Tinubu is not the first president to rule Nigeria. In fact, we don't need that road right now. Let them fix our refineries that will create employment and improve the economy. The process which people get into office is more fundamental. We all know the shenanigans that played out during elections. Therefore, this government won't achieve anything. You think so? Please let them release Nnamdi Kanu, Prince Ayotek from Arena Markets. Well, I think they would achieve a lot if we work together and if they do the right thing. I think so. Good morning to you too, Ajero, who recently said each time he tries staging protests, federal government paid elements puncture it could come out this time threatening the same protest if peradventure it ended up increasing electricity tariff. My sister, please tell the noisemaker, Ajero, to keep Workers have lost interest in him and should resign and pursue the politics he has passion for. Primate Peter from Ayobo. Primate, please, some of the words you use, not good for a primate to say that. Yeah? Good morning. How are you? Hello? Good morning. Hello, good morning. How are you?
Hello, Mary.
Hey, I'm married this morning, but my name is Cordelia. You know the listen since.
Okay, Cordelia, good morning, good morning.
Morning, go ahead. What's your name?
You know, the situation of the Nigeria can even make you mad.
It can even make you call your daddy, mommy. I know. Go ahead. All right.
How was your night?
Very well, and yours?
This is Emeka calling from FaceTag.
Okay, go ahead.
I want to ask a question. Do we still have a Senate and House of Representative member in this country?
Of course.
How can a sitting president take a leave in a nation? Nobody knows where about him, and they are sitting there as representative of Nigerians. That's number one. Cordelia, I want you to find out how much it costs to do a railway course in other country to compare it with Nigeria. We have every raw material to build this railway. Still, we are paying times 20 compared with other nations. Shame to this country. God bless you.
No, if you say shame to the country, that means shame to all of us now. We're all inside the country. God bless Nigeria. That is what I would rather say.
Hello, good morning. I'm calling back again.
Okay. Oh, all right.
Yeah, I called earlier and I couldn't get any of the topic, and you said I should check and cover.
Have you gotten the topic now?
Yeah, I've got the absence of the president from the country, and also got the issue with our economy as usual. Hello?
I'm listening to you. Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm Mr. Henry from Agor.
Okay. So we have less than a minute to do this, so go ahead.
Okay. Well, the problem in this country is we don't even understand the system of government we are practicing. The truth is they tell us we are practicing democracy, and in reality, this is not democracy. Because the truth is, democracy says the power belongs to the people. But this time around, the power belongs to the few politicians, you understand, ruling this country, making it look like as if it's their family business, choosing every bad person, or should I say, somebody that doesn't have good image out there in terms of correction, and they put them there to do their business as usual. It boils down to Nigerians anyway, you understand. If the same way you fight to come out of poverty, if Nigerians can channel this energy, the way they strive, they struggle every blessed day to go out to get something to survive, if they channel this energy, you understand, to demand for change, I believe, you understand.
Yes. Oh, okay, the line has gone off, but yes, Nigeria will be better. That will be the last call for this segment. The next segment will be talking about something also in the light of Nigeria. But right now, let me read some messages from YouTube. I have yours, Ezewaka Maximus. Politics of personal interest has destroyed Nigeria. And Mama Basu Yekoyo, Tinubu has not, you feel so? He is there to enrich himself, the people responsible for Nigerian affair. I can read this thing out like this. Okay, you're asking, where is the president? We're asking too. How can a country not know where the president is? But from what we've gathered online, he's in the UK on a private visit. Maybe what we're asking for is that for it to be made official that he's here doing this and that, it makes it a lot easier for people to really understand and coordinate things. All right, so we will be wrapping this up shortly, and we'll be taking Kizike's headlines. I have some I'll be sharing with you, and at 8 we'll be joining for another segment where we'll take a look at the big story for the day. And I'll read just one message and we'll move on. From Evans, aka Elder General Isheri Oshun. The future of this country called Nigeria is in our hands. I think we should help ourselves by resisting these people and their gifts. They are great gifts, you feel. So how do we do that? By voting wisely, I want to believe. Well, we'll also have at 10:30 our session with Sheikh Gumi. Let's look at insurgency in Nigeria, how we can, get rid of it and make Nigeria safer for everybody. All right, let's quickly run through some of the sporting headlines. 8 o'clock, there's a point for it, and then we will join our guest for today. I'll take as much as I can right now. Let's start off from this very one. Okay, sorry. You're listening to VOP 90.3 FM, and this is the point where we'll take a look at the front pages. And now I want to quickly take the papers, but they are refusing to obey me. Well, okay. Rivers United withdrawal looms over unfair treatment, MPFL. The management of Rivers United of Port Harcourt, they've threatened withdrawal from all football-related activities. This was in a letter dated May 2, 2024, and they addressed it to the General Secretary, Nigerian Football Federation. And that is the threat they have here. We also have FIFA Talent Boost. Plateau FA discovers future stars. The Under-15 FIFA Talent Development Scheme screening, it took place in Jos, Plateau State, April 24 to May 2. It has come to a successful conclusion. This initiative was launched by the World Football Governing Body, FIFA, and it aims to identify and nurture young football talents from the grassroots level. Another headline we have, Okpekpe Road Race. Global attention turns to Nigeria and is poised to take center stage as the next host of a prestigious gold label road race, drawing international attention to Nigeria. That is the Okpekpe Road Race. And again, we have this one, 2026 WCQ Super Eagles must beat South Africa, Benin. This is according to Finidi. NFF cautioned Udeze wants NFF against imposing assistance on Finidi George. And also Finidi's appointment, the beginning of good things for Nigeria, for Nigerian football. This is according to Unwanel. And you can check out more of these stories as he'll be joining us later on to really bring on the full details of all what he has shared with us on the sporting beat. Right now, we are moving on to take up another topic, and we're looking at parental consent in marriage with a cue. We are taking a cue from what transpired over the weekend when a family disowned its own, the marriage, and they even came out with a public letter that we are not a party to this at all. And we have with us as guests Dominic Ichaba, who was called to the Nigerian bar in 1985, many years ago. He's worked both in the private and private law firms around the country. He is also a chartered stockbroker and executive coach. He has also attended courses and seminars on law, finance management, and leadership, amongst others. He is also the acclaimed author of a book that is simply titled Surprised by Marriage, a life-transforming vision of marriage. He is a renowned marriage counselor, and mixing all of them with law, he will be sharing with us today his thoughts on that which everybody is talking about right now. Welcome to the program, Dominic Ichaba.
Thank you, Cordelia. It's a pleasure being here.
On a short notice, you answered us and you have joined us. And I shared with you what was going on. As a marriage counselor, you're one who understands marriage and all that it entails. So I'd like to find out from you, with this story that is on now, what is the role of parental consent in marriage? Be it traditional, be it civil, be it any format at all.
Right. Thank you very much, Cordelia. As we know, of course, parents have investments in their children. They have a lot at stake, so, and in our culture, parents are highly regarded, and what they think about their children is considered very, very important. For marriages, it depends on the law that is guiding that marriage. We have two main types of marriages in Nigeria, and that is they are the marriage under native law and custom, and marriages under the statute, under the Marriage Act, the statutory marriage. Now, under native law and custom, the law depends on the particular custom and the particular native law of the area of the marriage. But generally, in most cultures in Nigeria, the parental consent is required for marriages under native law and custom. And particularly parental consent for the bride. The bride's parents, of course, are the ones, or the family are the ones to receive the bride price. And bride price is also an essential requirement in native law and custom marriages. So yes, parental consent is required there. Then under the Statutory Act, the law provides that if the marriage is by people who are under 21, parental consent is also required. But for people over 21 years of age, there would be no need for parental consent. I mean, it's not a requirement under the Marriage Act.
It's not a requirement. So if it's not a requirement, does it mean that one can just up and go? Okay. I seem to have lost audio here. I can't hear him. Is somebody okay?
Are you hearing me?
Okay, I can hear you now. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm hearing you very well.
Okay, great. I lost audio for a moment there. Now, I was wondering if it is quite crucial for under 21 and older to have parental consent, and above you don't really need. A lot of people will be asking the question that the family that came out to say that what happened between the son and the other girl and the person he married, that is not accepted by the family. All publications and documents being circulated about this are to be disregarded, and the fact that anybody parading themselves as new members of their family heritage by virtue of this purported event, they are not accepted by that family itself. In law, is that truly something that we should worry about, especially when their son, their child, has gone to pay the bride price?
Well, so we don't know all the circumstances of the marriage. The thing is, parental consent is required in marriage under native law and custom. This marriage, if I remember, or this ceremony, if I remember, took place in Cross Rivers. I think Cape or something like that, as well, what I read. Now, if the marriage took place there, you want to know what is the requirement of that environment regarding parental consent. Certainly, if the parents of the bride took, if the parents of the bride took the bride price, it's assumed that the consent was given. Whether in their own environment, the parental consent of the groom is mandatory is what will be a matter of fact to determine. But that is for marriage under the native law and custom. What I have seen many people do these days is that sometimes either before or immediately after, or just as they are doing that, they are also undergoing marriage under the Marriage Act, which many people call court marriage or civil marriage. They are doing that, and in that case, parental consent is not required if you are over 21. So it all depends on the circumstances and the facts of the particular case.
Is it possible for only the mother, for when you have a father and a mother, is it possible for only the mother's consent to fly, even if the father says no? Can only the mother give approval? I'm trying to understand it based on our setting. I know in the West, you can just go with a boy, a girl, and you guys are married. You come to your family and announce that we're married. Ta-da! But is that doable here?
Well, doable. There are two things you need to look at. Number one, it can be doable under the law depending on the circumstance, but you are talking about a mother giving consent. I'm not sure that in most native law and custom in Nigeria, the consent of the mother without the consent of the father would be valid. Would be valid. I think that our native law and custom regards more the consent of the father. In most societies. So if the mother gives consent and the father does not, I would not think that it qualifies. I think it's the father or the father's family that actually receives the bride price in most societies in Nigeria. So that will not qualify for consent. But having said that, the law, the Marriage Act still remains that whether the parents give consent or not, the marriage is valid. Now, whether the marriage is doable is a different matter. And doable goes beyond being valid. So I think I would stop there.
Okay, let's come to you now as a marriage counselor. You've been talking as a lawyer. Let's talk now to a marriage counselor. You have a book that I was there when you launched the book, and you shared with us the things that surprised you in marriage, and the role of the parents. You would have studied all that all these years you've been married. What does it truly feel like to go into a marriage where, let's say, the family of the groom did not accept you? How easy, over all these years that you've been counseling people, how easy do they eventually find it, or what are the ways to eventually survive it?
Well, I think it is difficult. I do believe that marriage is one of the institutions that you want your loved ones around you. It's not only that they give consent, you actually want them to be around you, to be actively supportive of what you are doing. So when that is lacking, I imagine that emotionally, the people concerned could have issues, in relating, sometimes not just to the parents and the families, but even between themselves. Some emotional issues can arise from there, and you behave, and then the other side says, it shows. I mean, maybe that's why your parents didn't even want you to marry me. Or maybe you are hearing from your parents, they are still telling you not to marry me and all of that. So you need all that support system around you for marriage to be really doable. And so when it's lacking, it can be tough. But does it mean the marriage like that would not work? Not necessarily. I'm aware of marriages that, for some reasons you can't even understand. I have a personal knowledge of one. The parents were just difficult. They were just difficult, and the groom and the bride, they did everything. The parents put all kinds of roadblocks. They will cross that. They will make impossible demands. They will almost meet. And then they said they will not agree. So some people from the village of the lady say, oh, they are the one, they will represent the parents. The parents say, you are on your own. We would not agree. And they got married. But somehow they were able to, the couple were able to manage each other very well. The relationship is very strong. They've been married many years. And now, the parents of the bride, who were the one opposed to the marriage in that particular case, are really, they consider the the husband of their son-in-law right now as their first son.
Imagine. Imagine that. But there are some cases who till forever they never admit, they never agree, and they remain the way they are in a very terrible situation. Let's see if we can take maybe one call or one message on WhatsApp only. Just try. If it's possible, go ahead and do that. 0817-175-6338. You can ask a question. You can make a contribution if you've experienced this before, and just share with us. We have just like 5 minutes to do that. If your call comes in during that period, we'll definitely take it. But I'll soon let Barrister Ichaba leave shortly because he has other things, and I promised him I won't take too long. But before you do leave, let's see. For anybody who's getting ready to go into that union right now and they are facing hurdles, what would you tell them to do? How would you advise them to jump over these hurdles so that they can have a successful union?
Well, so I personally would, advise particularly on this parental consent as much as possible to take all the steps necessary to really get that consent. Sometimes it involves being patient, allowing time, and then sometimes it involves engaging people that are respected by your parents to help talk with them. Sometimes it involves sitting back and thinking, so where is this coming from? Because sometimes the problems are already there. It's not the marriage that is the issue. The problems already exist before the marriage. Maybe they were already having issues, and then they use the marriage to punish the guy or the lady or whatever.
That's so the parents now.
The parents, yes.
Oh, wow.
So the issues that are that have been going on. So it's important that you give sufficient regard and respect to the parents. But I do not think that if the parents continue to object for no reasonable grounds, you've involved adults, other adults, you've involved maybe your relatives, and people who should be respected as the parents and all, and they don't agree. I think if they are of marriageable age, I would say that they should really consider it, not just say, okay, if parents say no, forever, you cannot marry at all.
So finally, what you refer to one thing. So what could be a reasonable ground of objection that the intending couple should pay attention to and call everything off? For instance, the parents are saying no, based on this. What could be that reasonable reason? An example.
Well, in those days, when you want to marry, people go around, they try to make findings about the background, about the, different things. For me, there are certain things that are very, very crucial. And one of them is the character. If a parent is saying, look, see this, see what we are observing, we know you are in love and you may not be seeing very well, but when you marry now, your eyes will open. Marriage opens the eye that are created by love. So, so if they are talking on, for instance, on such an issue, I think it's good to pay attention because the character of the individuals in the marriage is very important to the success of the marriage. So in that case, when they are talking from the perspective of what will they think is best for you, it's good to take a look at it. So there are some other things that the parent may be concerned about, maybe marriage that may have from backgrounds that may really be a problem, and it's good to look at it, because sometimes we think, oh, it's love, but yes, marriage takes more than love. So if there are backgrounds that will be a problem, like maybe when it's intertribal, there's need to explain, there's a need to say where things are. Now people are marrying across nations, and the marriages are going on well. So it's good to have discussions and know where they are coming from, and that's what I would say.
Thank you very much, Barrister Dominic Ichaba, for your time, for sharing your knowledge with us. He's told us both sides, the legal part and also the traditional family part of all this. And this has been the fallout of what had made the huge, big story round yesterday and before, where a family had come out to disown the marriage of their kid because they say that the family, they are not aware of any such marriage ceremony, and the fact that anybody bearing their name after that marriage is not accepted, it's not this and all that. So we thought to find out from Barrister Dominic Ichaba the role of parental consent in all of this. He's not just a barrister, he's also an author and a marriage counselor. Thank you so much for your time. I know I told you 15 minutes, but it don't pass. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Cordelia. It has been nice being here.
Thank you, and have a very beautiful day. Bye-bye.
You too. Bye.
Bye. You're listening to VOP 90.3 FM, City of Lagos. You've heard that parental consent under the law is very crucial. But once a kid is, or the child is above 21 years, they could do it without. But it also has its own implications. How do you deal with it? And he also had his advice as per when you're marrying into a family that has already rejected you from the get-go, that sometimes it could turn out to be okay and fine at the end, but sometimes the wahala fit not be here. He also told us when we should pay attention to such objections and allow peace to reign. Okay, that is that for that bit. Let me keep my promise now and finish some of the messages I had from earlier on, and we'll be moving on to have our guys come in because the Igbo segment will be starting shortly. Kashmir is already in the building. I'll quickly remind you too that I'll be having later on Shegumi, who joins us at 10:30. We'll be looking at insurgency in the country, how we can overcome that and other things. But before we hear our guys, let's quickly take some more messages as promised. Good morning, I'm Babeji from Oshodi. Please let me say this: any father that will leave house anytime, any day without first informing the members of his family must be an irresponsible daddy. And that is no, I beg you, Babeji. Okay, I have yours, Waje from Shasha. You say it's not surprising that the president is nowhere to be found today. And for the Coastal Road, about the directors of the company giving the nod to do Lagos to Calabar Road, the revelation that one of them must be, I didn't get this. Secondly, the revelation about the directors of the company giving the nod to do Lagos to Calabar Road is one that must be resisted by all Nigerian people. YJ from Shasha. From Afunwa, good morning to you. You say Madam Ejiro can speak our Lagos English. I thank God Madam Ejiro can speak our Lagos English. Which one be that? You dey fear wafi English, we know they buy it. Okay, I have one more minute to read this. Good morning. APC was accusing PDP for bad governance of 16 years. Now they are giving Nigerians the pro marks of bad governance in all sectors, from lights to road, hunger, fuel, propaganda, restiveness in all zones, and many more. Smiling George from Lasu Road. Dayo, have yours. I also have yours. Chibuzo from Ejigbo, Lagos. I got your message here too. This will be the last. Adigbo is also in the house. When Coastal Road has started, when will it be completed? What is the unemployment figure now in Nigeria? Then give us statistics in the next 3 months. Citizens are losing their jobs without government measures to back up their acts. APC is ruling the nation, not an individual as the president. Thanks. In addition, Nigeria does not have a judiciary again because they are both, oppression everywhere in the country. You're lamenting. All right, I got that from you, Chief. Chibuzo from Ejigbo. Thank you so much, guys, for being a part of the program. I'm Cordelia Obe. I'll be back at 10:30. We'll be speaking with Sheikh Gumi, but right now, have to hand over. Adigbo, you are not smiling. Kashmir, you are not smiling. What's happened?
Good morning, Cordelia.
Morning, no.
Good morning.
I'm fine. What's happened? The rain fall now. Weather cool.
The weather get us CB, but the weather is cool anyway because the heat has been much.
Yeah.
But finally, it's like we're about to enter the rainy season. So I'm happy for the weather.
People saw the story of the family that say, our pikin, you go marry Abi, you not tell, we don't know anything. No, if you bear the name, you can't come into our family.
You're on your own.
On your own.
Yeah. But there is, you said my face is not bright. I was just reading one news. Our president went to economic forum in Saudi Arabia after 6 or 7 days now that the summit ended. Our president is here to come back. Our vice president Shetima is now in the US. So who is now in charge of Asurok?
I have volunteered myself.
Oh, I'll be your vice.
The thing is this: people are saying our president is in Saudi, while others are saying, according to Sahara reporters,
that is in UK.
He's in Paris, and that's what they are saying, that he's in France, and some people allege that it might be for medical stuff. But the thing is, I'm in charge.
Now me first talk.
No, Holy Book says, anywhere you march upon your feet, you shall dominate.
Now me first reach station today.
I have my Canadian
That's
flight.
That's why you cannot, because for you to lead a country, you must not have dual citizenship.
Is it not possible for me to call Mahmoud Yakubu, say, declare me the winner?
I'm not there.
That day there will be some glitches, so it won't work.
Now it's raining now.
Abiodun, I know the house. All this I am telling you, I was the first to volunteer, and there should be something to count. But the thing is, at least let us know.
Unannounced.
He's whereabouts. He's our president.
Yeah.
We are over 200 million Nigerians, and we don't know where our president is. He went to Saudi. He told us that he went for economic summit. The summit has ended now. Where is our president? The vice that is supposed to work when he's not around is not also in Nigeria.
Maybe it's Akpabio that will not do it now.
Our vice is going to represent our president that is not around. This is called continuous tense.
That's why I'm here to continue the tenses.
In regards to that, what is it called? The
marriage.
Yes, parental consent. I think that thing can only happen in a wealthy family.
My brother, don't be saying now they feed the son. He can't go marry. They go.
You just say, I am here to declare. So is poor man who know you now. They only catch you when you come back.
This boy, they go. Thank you guys very much. I'll be back 10:30. Enjoy my guys at Digbo, Kashmir, to handsome.